Welcome back to Under Oath. Welcome back to Under Oath. I'm Attorney Jeff Kaufman. Sitting next to me is James John. You know, he's a YouTube celebrity now.
I am not.
He's too good for us.
I know I'm not a celebrity. You know how I know? Because my bank account says so.
No, you can be popular and be broke.
I can be that?
Ask Nicolas Cage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I love that guy. But he gave up his comic books.
He did.
Here, Nick. I love you, man.
And he loved his comic books.
I love you, man.
Yeah.
I do. I think Nicolas Cage, I've seen all your movies.
Me too.
Well, I've seen all of them.
I've seen all of them.
And some of them I kind of feel like there's some refunds. But you know what? I was entertained for a period of time, so
Me
I'm
too.
okay. But when he had some money issues,
Yeah.
he had to give it up all.
He did.
You know what happens? You get caught. Too much money. You're making it, and things seem great.
Yeah.
And then somebody goes, hey, you like this dinosaur bone?
You don't have one of these.
You got a dinosaur bone?
Yeah. You don't got one of these.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Yeah.
And then you have to give it back.
You do.
And then somebody comes and goes, hey, that ain't your dinosaur bone.
Well, but I paid for it.
They go, sorry, it's a Croatian dinosaur bone.
Oh, we can't have a Croatian.
You got to give it back.
You got to give it back.
Oh, man. Nick, I love you, man. Hey, thanks for rocking Spider-Man Noir.
True that. Great show.
If you're not watching it,
You should be.
you should. And for those who don't like comic book movies, don't watch it. I don't want to take credit. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. Now, hold on. Before we go,
Uh-huh.
Marlon Wayans,
Yes.
scary movie.
Yeah.
You see it?
No, not yet.
Oh,
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet.
you know, that reminds me of the conversation we had today about Jesse Smollett.
Yes.
We were supporting you,
By
but not supporting you. But I know I'm not saying it right, but he knows what I mean.
But I know I'm picking up what you're laying down, brother.
Jesse and Marlon, I paid.
Yes.
I was one of the 105 million who went,
Gotcha.
and I took my son, and
Mhm.
I took the Russian. So it was a.
We should-
So I paid 3 times.
We got to stop calling that woman Russian.
Oh, she don't care.
She's not even close to being
Well, you put a Puerto Rican and a West Virginian together, you get a Russian.
Russian. That's how that
Yeah.
works.
And that wasn't my joke. That was Ken Miller, the Godfather of comedy. Okay.
I got a great one today.
All right.
Legally screwed,
All right, what do we
brother.
got?
My neighbor's dead tree totaled my car. Now his insurance says it's partly my fault. Wait.
Like a good neighbor.
All right, my neighbor had a visibly dead tree that was leaning towards my parked
Visibly
car.
dead.
Visibly dead.
Visibly.
Now, what I did was I sent him a certified letter asking him to remove it, but he never responded.
Move your tree.
Okay, now during a windstorm, the tree fell, crushed my car, and damaged part of his fence. Now, his insurance company is telling me that I'm partly to blame because I warned him about the hazard. I share some responsibility for the fence that's damaged, and they want me to sign a document acknowledging shared causation.
Okay. Pay attention. Don't sign nothing. Don't say nothing. Congratulations, you practice law now.
There you go. That's all I need.
You don't need a lawyer.
I'm certified?
Yes, you're certified.
Gotcha.
Don't say something. Don't write something.
That's the first thing you told me because
Yes.
you told me, shut up.
Yep.
Don't say anything.
Something you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
When you call, this call is being recorded for,
Ooh.
yeah. Anytime they let you know it's being recorded for business purposes.
Mhm.
You know what business purposes? Screwing you.
Ooh.
That's what business purpose is.
And-
if you look it up, if you Google it, you're going to get porn because somebody's getting screwed.
And Jeff, business is good.
Business is good.
Yeah.
Do you know the only people that don't
Yeah.
lose money? Insurance companies.
That's right.
Banks, insurance companies.
Too big to fail.
Yeah. If I had to start over again, I'd be a banker.
God bless you.
Hell yeah, I would be.
God bless. We'd have our own island by now.
Everyone who goes, you know what success is? Banking.
Banking.
Be a banker.
Yeah.
Insurance company. Ooh, good money in that.
So I'm just imagining this in my head. I try to be a good neighbor and say, hey, man, that tree doesn't look like it's going to stay up there, man. It's dead. You might want to do something.
All right. Here's
Yeah.
a problem.
Okay.
If I park my car by something that I know is hazardous, some of that fault could be mine.
Even though it's
Now, I have a right to take advantage of my property.
Oh, I was going to say.
Okay? But I did something stupid once.
Once.
Yesterday.
Okay. All right.
And here's this wasn't yesterday. It was a couple of years ago.
Okay.
You know, I'm a lawyer.
I've heard.
Okay?
Yeah.
Which means I practice law for a living.
Mm-hmm.
I do not cut trees for a living.
You don't.
Well, there was a
Oh.
limb hanging over my house.
Tell me you didn't.
And I said, well, I can climb up in the tree and just cut this one limb, and I don't have to pay a guy $200 to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I get up on this limb, and I'm sitting here with a hacksaw with my butt on this limb.
Oh.
And I start sawing into this limb. And this was many years ago.
Okay.
And something said to me, you a lawyer, get out of this tree.
Yes.
I get out of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
The next week, I'm in this room that's on the same side of the house, except it's dark. I'm going, how is this dark? Where my ass was is exactly where this tree snapped. And the tree is now covering the back of the house.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'd have been dead.
You would have been no
Yes.
longer here, sir.
But let's change that scenario. Let's
Uh-huh.
say I was cutting that tree off and I want to collect the money afterwards.
Uh-huh.
I knew this tree was bad. I could have fixed it.
Mhm.
I had notice
Yes.
and I didn't do it.
And
then
you did it yourself,
Yes.
too. Yeah.
and then I did something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The more notice I have, the harder it is for me to claim that I deserve to be paid for it.
Gotcha.
Now, that doesn't mean you won't be paid.
Okay.
It just means they now have an excuse. And just so you know what insurance companies do, unless you have these guys dead to rights, I mean, dead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like everything they're responsible for. They're going to go, yeah, let's take a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was a scene in an old movie, Office Space,
Okay.
where the guy's holding a coffee cup. And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah. Just think of every insurance adjuster like, yeah. Send us a copy of that, please. We'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, I never got that copy. Could you send it
Say it
over to me again?
again. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We got the copy. We're gonna have our people looking at it. Yeah. 3 months later. Oh, we just don't think we're responsible.
Mm-hmm.
And then you send them the lawsuit. Yeah, we'll send you that check out.
And that things start to speed up a little bit. Yeah.
Many times when they know they're dead to rights,
Mm-hmm.
they'll kick that can down the street.
Gotcha. And get it over with.
Because here is the secret to all insurance companies. Look me in the eyes. They're investment companies. They make money the longer they hold on to their money. So even a single day makes them an unbelievable amount of money. You're going, well, Jeff, what's $10,000 for a single day? It's not $10,000. It's 1 million cases, 1 million days of interest.
Mm-hmm.
Drag. The longer the money's in their account, the more money they make. They do not make money from selling insurance.
No.
They make money off the money they make holding that money that they don't have to give back.
Correct.
That's one to grow on.
Investment companies. That's great for
Yes.
people to actually know. So explain that term, though, shared causation.
Shared causation means that you had a certain amount of the responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the state you're in, you can't have more than 50% responsibility.
Got it.
Now, there's what they call true comparative, which means, let's say I'm 1% wrong and that person's 99% wrong.
Okay.
They can still get the 1% wrong I am.
Get out.
Yes, that's truly comparative.
Okay.
So let's say I have a dog and my dog's walking. I've told you 50 times, please don't pet my dog. Please don't do this.
Yeah.
A jury's going to define, well, he did tell him, so we're going to find him 85% responsible for his own injury, but we're going to cover 15%.
So that's on me now.
Exactly.
Got it.
That's truly comparative.
Even though I say, hey, man, don't pet my
Don't
dog.
pet the dog.
And you still do it. I still share responsibility because it's my
In
dog.
certain states.
Got it.
Florida is a 50-50, which means that if you are 50% or more responsible, you're screwed.
Mm. Okay. This is a great question because of what you do. At what point does this guy stop talking to that insurance company and get a lawyer?
The minute you get in the accident.
Okay.
This is the big scam. Do not call the insurance company and explain your physical injuries.
Oh.
Okay? Discuss the car.
Okay.
Discuss the property damages. Do not discuss anything that has to do with your own physical injuries, because you will make the mistake of saying something like, well, I'm a little sore, but I think I'm okay. That'll be used against you.
They got you.
That's where they get you.
Because it's being recorded.
And how do I know this? Because I'm the one who sits in a courtroom and has to listen to your tape where you say, well, I'm a little sore, but I think I'm okay. I think I'm getting better. I think I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's natural to think you're okay.
Yes.
Like I screwed up my shoulder a week ago. I've been trying to walk it off. I've been trying.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to see the doctor, and doctor said, well, come back to me in 3 days. And I'm going, even after 3 days, well, maybe it's okay. Maybe I don't have to go back.
He told you
even
to come
somebody who
back.
knows as much as I do
Mm-hmm.
makes the stupid decision to think that I'm going to be okay.
Nah.
Worst case scenario I've seen, young lady got in an accident, called me. I said, you need to go to the doctor. And she goes, no, I'm fine. I said, you have 2 weeks to go to the doctor
Mm-hmm.
or they're going to screw you out of $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, oh, well, I guess okay. She went, found out she messed up her spine, had to get surgery a week later.
Thank God.
And it was a
went.
$120,000 surgery she needed.
Oh my gosh.
And she thought, oh, I'm a little sore, but I can walk it off.
Mm.
If she didn't do that, if she would have called the insurance company and said she was okay, they would have done two things. Well, how do we know you didn't get hurt after the accident?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a term called pre-existing conditions, which means that they're going to claim that your injury happened from something else.
Mm-hmm.
And you think, oh, these are good people. They're not.
Mm.
Don't believe the cartoon characters or the nice guy going, we'll be there for you. They hate you.
Mm.
You watch what they do to you. The
Mhm.
people they sick on you when you try to collect. If I showed pictures of these guys and put them with their mascots, you go, wait, this can't be the same company.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I watched a woman get attacked in a depot. And here's the thing about depositions. My job in a deposition is just to sit there. I have to allow him to ask questions. I can't cut him off on every question.
Mm-mm.
Unless it's clearly inappropriate, which very rarely it's not, because it's just, they can ask anything that can lead to pertinent information.
Mm-hmm.
But I sit there and watch a client get beaten up for 3 hours. And it sucks.
And you can't do anything.
And I prep them. I tell them they're going
Yeah.
to get beat up. Afterwards, we talk about it. You know, it's like counseling where I go, are you okay? Is this fine? Because it is mental abuse having to sit there for 3 hours and get attacked by an attorney.
Yeah.
And you have to sit there and take it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the emotional damages are brutal. And that's what your insurance company is paying these guys to do.
It's their job.
Yeah. And it sucks. But you also have to understand that they're just looking, oh, so have you ever fallen down before?
Mm.
Oh, so when you're 6, you fell down?
Mm-hmm.
You could be 70.
And they'll still try
And they're
to
going to
use
try
that.
to tie it back to an accident you had when you were 6
Uh-huh.
because it just means they have to pay less. And what's the rule? Investment companies want to pay less.
That's right.
So that's the sad part, but that's the rule. And we're sticking to that.
Mm-hmm. So in closing, if something happens, shut up.
Shut up.
Don't sign anything.
Don't sign anything.
Got it.
The internet. Everyone's afraid of the internet, but nobody wants to do anything about it. Parents don't want to put blocks on their systems. Their phones are wide open. So these kids are getting whatever they want to get, and then they're filing lawsuits because they got into something. But let's not talk about things like porn and stuff like that, because I don't care what people say. Oh, we have blocks for that. BS. You can pull up anything no matter where you are. Every phone has a VPN on it, so you can't even monitor the state anymore.
Yeah.
But
There's workarounds for all that
But
stuff.
let's talk about something that they should be protected on. There are some specific kid sites, and you have a kid. You know, how old's your kid?
7.
Okay, so you have a 7-year-old, and the internet has suddenly gotten a little scarier for you because safe spaces are no longer safe.
It's not scary for me. She doesn't have access.
Well, she did.
No.
She never had your phone,
Oh, I give her my phone here and there for a couple minutes.
and she walks away with that phone.
She
sits
she's
there right there
in my
showing you
presence.
exactly what the screen.
Not showing me, but she sits right next to me. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you.
She doesn't get my phone and then disappear for 3 hours and then bring it back. No. I don't know what you did with your kids, but that's not how I do it with mine.
When you're home,
What?
can you guarantee that happens 24/7?
Yes.
Okay.
My wife does the same thing.
Okay. So she can't be on the phone talking to her mother or doing something, and she's got that phone and burning through
She
everything.
doesn't have a phone.
You know what I mean. She's got an iPad.
She does have an iPad.
Okay. And
Yes.
how blocked is that?
Very blocked.
Okay.
She can't
what do you have
download
on it?
anything. All the blockers.
All the blockers.
And
All of
she's
them.
7. Like this won't work when she's like 12, 13, 14, because the kids that old will figure ways around it. But at 7, she doesn't know how to work around the parental block. So
Well, let me go over
she
this.
can't go anywhere or do anything that she doesn't ask permission from us first.
Let me cover this. The state of Oklahoma.
Of what state?
The state of Oklahoma has sued Roblox over child safety issues and failures.
Oklahoma.
The whole state has failed. The whole state has failed. Yes, the whole state is suing. I always love when a state sues it.
Well, they represent a whole state full of people. So
I love when you're the attorney. You're going, I now speak for the whole state of Oklahoma. The
Do you have
plaintiff
to-
is the state
Do
of
you
Oklahoma.
have to do a conflict check whenever you
I
I
think you should.
represent everybody in the state?
Yeah.
Now I can't sue anybody in this state ever again because at one point I represented everybody.
Now, I'm a man who's significantly older and has no kids of that age. What the hell is this thing?
Roblox?
Yeah.
It is a collection of games, I think. I mean, I'm kind of old too. But it's a collection of games. You go to Roblox and you can play. And what's cool about it for the kids is their friends can play with them in the little universe of games that they play. So there's all these different little sandboxes that you can get into. And so you get into a particular sandbox and your other friends, if you tell them what sandbox you're in, they can come play in the same sandbox. That's what makes it attractive. Because now I can play with my friends from school and down the street, and now we're all together, kinda.
Now, my concern is this. Who controls who's in these particular sandboxes that your daughter or anybody else's kid can pop into?
Yeah, you can. There's parental controls included in the Roblox galaxy.
So how did these weird pedophiles get in these
Because
sandboxes?
they go online, they create a profile, and their profile claims that they are 5, 6, 7, 8 years old
Oh.
when they're 48, 49, 52. And then that person will be in some kind of sandbox somewhere and he'll send a friend request.
Oof, that's skeevy.
Now, all of a sudden, your kid's like, oh, I'm going to accept this friend. And now when you have a friend, you can actually let them know which sandbox you're in. You can allow them to see where you are so that they can come find you in whatever sandbox you decide to be in that day.
It is so weird how I feel towards murderers in comparison to these pedophiles. I'll forgive a murderer. I'll go, he got mad. These pedos, God, ugh.
Well, what's wrong with just not forgiving any of them?
Because I think something is situational. I could be mad about something, or I could lose my mind, or I could be in a bad place. But if I have a propensity to want to do weird stuff to kids, I mean, come on. That's you're never going to get fixed. You're going to have to do drugs, chemical castration. And I know there are people out there who are going, Jeff, you don't understand. I know these people. I represented them a long time ago. You do not change how you feel inside about what you're attracted to.
I heard a psychiatrist explain it, or psychologist one time on a talk show. They were like, listen, sexuality and things that you like in that realm, it's like a palate. Once something goes onto the palate, it never comes off. Once you have some sort of arousal experience, whatever it is, it gets put on that sexual palate, it never comes off.
So I've got these really terrible human beings who are figuring out ways to get into every social media. And they'll eventually, the profiles, everything else like that. And they'll go, well, how do you protect somebody? Other than doing a full background check on everybody who is on social media, how do you potentially even try to curb that?
You just block them all.
How you block them all?
Yeah, you can set up the profile.
No, I'm talking about the
parental
company
controls.
itself, Roboblocks or whatever it's called.
Oh, Roblox. How can they do it?
Yeah.
Well, they have a robust parental blocking system. That's why it's a little confusing why Oklahoma will be suing them.
Because somebody got through.
It's like, hey, we have a seatbelt, but the people that we're providing the seatbelt to, they're not clicking it on. And then you're suing us because they got into an accident and hit the dashboard. Yeah, we know if they get into an accident, they're going to hit the dashboard. That's why we put a seatbelt in. Yeah, we know if they go online, they're going to run into potential predators. That's why we gave parental controls.
So do you think the state of Oklahoma should be able to sue somebody over something like this? Or you think it's just a money grab?
It's not a money grab.
Well, they're getting a lot of money. They will get paid. They will get probably 100, 200 million. They'll settle. Or Texas will hop in and Missouri will hop in.
Yeah, they might do that just so that they can say, hey, we prevailed and we did something for the population of Oklahoma. And now they agreed to make even more robust seatbelts. Now there's 2 seatbelts instead of 1. And that's our big settlement. The problem is going to come down to parenting your kids. You have got to take personal responsibility for your kids. Yes, society can help out. We can. We really can. We want to. But we can't be in control of all of the decisions that your kid makes. You got to jump in there.
Now, they're going to be sued under some form of negligence, that they had a duty to protect kids from these predators.
And we did.
But there's
so
no
let me represent Roblox.
There's no standard.
We did. We have all of these parental controls. If you employed these, this would not have happened.
So what is the standard? I'm arguing, and this is what I hate about a lot of lawsuits. These aren't the lawsuits we fight. It's real simple. You get in an accident, you fall, somebody does something that hurts you. Okay. This stuff is the wild, wild west. You go in, you got 6 jurors who go, I don't like this company. Let's give them $1 billion.
Well, yeah, that's happening in all kinds of businesses. It's happening with Amazon. It's happening with Uber. It's happening with all these companies. And they're saying, no, we're not really a retailer. What we are is a platform that provides a location. We're not really involved in the stream of commerce.
Now, Craig, here's what I have a problem with. I make mistakes as an adult. I've accepted friend requests. I get scammed all the time. There's no way that you can basically cover everything to protect everybody, especially kids.
There is an option. You deny all friend requests. Yes. You don't have to have a friend in the game. You only want to have friends. Sure, that makes it maybe more enjoyable. But what is more important? Protecting your kid or letting them do whatever they want online?
But you're different. You and your wife are probably in the more protective category because people are using their iPads as babysitters. Toy Story 5 is actually about a kid getting an electronic device that takes up all their time and effort. And people are babysitting the same way people used to stick a kid in front of the TV. And we used to go, oh, those commercials, I'm buying too many action figures. Let's sue these companies. And now we're going to make sure there are no commercials during.
Yeah, when kids sat in front of TVs, what happened? McDonald's got sued.
Yeah.
Everybody that used
Toy
characters
companies
to bring people into food places. Yeah, you can't see Ronald McDonald anymore. When's the last time you saw Ronald McDonald?
Well, he was a little creepy.
Just because he was a clown.
Right.
All right, so Grimace.
No, he was a
so
ginger
Grimace.
clown. He was a little
Hamburglar. Whatever. Oh, he's a little creepy too.
Well, Hamburger. they all kind of looked.
Now that I'm thinking about the McDonald's cast, there
was some dude who came up with all that. I'm going, okay, let's go with the redheaded, creepy looking clown.
I remember when the Hamburglar visited my school when I was in like 4th grade, and we all got in trouble because after they did like a little magic show, and then it was recess. And the Hamburglar guy was just trying to get back out to his car. And all of us kids like attacked him. Like we knocked his hat off.
He's the enemy.
And, which thinking in hindsight, it wasn't very nice of us.
Well,
we shouldn't have done that. We all got in a lot of trouble though.
I could tell you that.
It's all right, Mr. Hamburglar. We didn't mean it.
Now here's my wrap up on this. And this is just parenting. I think anytime the government goes, we're smarter than the parents, we're going to do all this parenting, we're going to sue these companies, we're going to make sure this doesn't happen. It's an attention grab. It's not realistic. It's not what you're trying to do. As a parent, if you're not going to parent your kid, the government's not going to do it for you. And that's what they're trying to do here. They're trying
Can I interject before you close this out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Oklahoma, why don't you have a big class on how to be a parent instead of suing Roblox? Why don't you teach your citizens how to be better parents than suing a company that's providing a service? How about that?
They can't because they want
votes.
Right,
because they want to get voted, right?
They want votes.
Yeah.
Look what we're doing. Look what we're doing. In fact, wouldn't it be great in school if that was a required part of the teaching, a social media education?
Oh, now you're onto something.
They won't do it.
Now you're onto something.
Won't do it. They can't do it because that's rational. Now, I feel bad for any child who was abused online. And that happens on Facebook, that happens on Instagram, it happens on all these platforms. Now, originally, I don't know the original safeguards. Will the safeguards get stronger because of lawsuits? Of course. But should a company go bankrupt or be taken out because of it?
Not when they're actually trying to provide a safety net and nobody uses it. Like we have a safety net. You're not using it, and then you sue us because you fell.
Well, that's painful. Again, we'll be back in a few, and we don't represent people in cases like this. Today we have a promoting executive, record executive, finder of great talent, and a musician himself, Derek Shulman. How you doing, Derek?
I'm doing great, Jeff. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Every time I get to interview somebody like you, I can't imagine that moment when you walk into a bar and you're listening, hoping to find that sound going, okay, I like these guys.
It usually doesn't happen that way, but because most of the bands in bars are playing other people's music, so that's a whole different thing. But there's a lot of great music out there, which unfortunately is not being heard, which is tragic because it's such a different time and place these days than it was in the 80s, 90s, and aughts. So it's to get through and become a big band as opposed to in the popular and rock music world. Yeah.
I think about the tough spot a guy like you used to be in, where you're going, wow, they sound great, but they look like crap. And I mean, there has to be some kind of divide where you're going, okay, I've got the best of both worlds.
Oh yeah. Well, the key thing I speak about is that the band is authentic in whatever genre they're in, whether it's pop or rock or metal or even hip hop. I mean, I'll just include that or whatever world they're in, as long as they are doing something which is their own and not somebody else's. Whether it's I signed Dream Theater and they're completely different to a Bon Jovi, who are completely different to Pantera, who are completely different to Nickelback. But they're doing something which other bands are not doing. They're leaders and not followers. And that's the key to ultimate success and a career, basically.
Now,
You
for
know,
you,
Gentle Giant was the same way, effectively.
I mean, you had 10 years, you got to work with your brothers. What was the moment where you go, you know what? I'm done with this. I've got to move on.
Um, Probably the last couple of years, we were the creative juices were starting to dwindle, and radio itself was starting to become, it was an important facet in marketing, and they started playing hit songs as opposed to hit album tracks and the hit singles, and bands like I guess a Genesis or yes would be able to write a 3-minute song. We weren't able to, and in certain respects I'm glad we didn't, because we may have become our own tribute band, and I really would have hated that for Gentle Giant to do that, because I see these bands and one band drops out and then another band member drops out, and they become kind of like an older band that is trying to get your 40-inch waist into a 32-inch waist
Yeah.
some years later. So I'm glad in many ways that we called it a day while we were on top, and I moved into a completely different, not so different, but different field in music.
Do you remember that moment where you're going, where I don't know whether the group got together or you just woke up in bed one day and goes, yeah, I'm not feeling this anymore.
Yeah, at the end of yes, when we recorded Civilian, which we thought was a really good album, and we recorded it in California, and Columbia Records said that they were going to re-push it, and we went on the road in North America, and for whatever reason, it didn't work. And there's a time when you say, look, you can only do so much, so at a certain point, and then the returns start to diminish. Your audiences dwindle a little bit. You start playing smaller places, and we didn't want that to happen. We said, look, we're playing great. We did the last tour, and before that tour, we said, this is the last tour, and we had a lot of fun. There was no animosity. There wasn't, any argument. We just played our last tour, and then we went off on our own and did different things. My brother became a producer, et cetera, et cetera. So we went on to different careers. But those 10 years are, when I look back, and I look back with my book, were probably the best 10 years I've ever had in my life.
You think about, I read books all the time where we kind of romanticize times where you're going, wow, that was the best day of my life. And we only try to think of the good times. I mean, what was the most difficult thing about being on the road?
There are so many difficult things that you have to encounter. There transportation. You get no sleep. You're playing back to back. You're playing with bands. As a backup initially that give you no room on the stage. Um, but generally, it's a different lifestyle than obviously being an executive. But it's a lifestyle that you can create. You can go. You can play, do your own thing. It's yours. It's nobody else's. And you go in the studio, and it's your creation. It's not no one else's. You go onto the stage, and it's your show. It's your creation. So that's something that you can't replicate on any other business or any other lifestyle.
I'm gonna ask a tough question because, I grew up at a time where, I worked with bands and everything, and we'd be in the studio for hours and hours and hours, and you just hope to get it. Now we have auto tune where you don't have to get it, where somebody doesn't have to be as talented as we'd like them to be. How painful is that for you now where you go, hey, listen, it's just part of our world now?
Well, I mean, it doesn't pain me so much as make me sad that when we started, and this is before General Giant, I was in another band at school, and then we were very successful. But we worked our asses off. We do 10 or 11 gigs a week, and if you didn't do that, and you didn't realize, and you didn't progress and become good at your instrument and good at what you did, then you didn't have a lifestyle or career in music. But we did. We learned stagecraft. We learned about writing. We learned about being entertainers as well as musicians. So when we became General Giant, we had that in our back pockets, and I think that served us very well. So hard work. I mean, we worked 24/7, and became as good as we could be, both professionally, both as musicians, and also entertainers on stage. And we didn't let anything get in the way. And we did it for ourselves first, but we wanted, hopefully, an audience that would enjoy us afterwards.
Now, you just mentioned something entertainers in comparison to, I don't want to compare entertainers to musicians, but we do know that there's been a flip that we're more likely looking for a guy who can look good and dance than maybe somebody who can create music. When do you think that flip happened, or do you think it's always been that way?
No, no, it's just been recently when the show, if you like, the show became the show rather than the musician playing the show with embellishments. That's a whole different animal. You have to, when I actually saw a show 2 nights ago, and but it was actually it was Yes, actually, and I know those guys very very well. They're good friends of mine, and thankfully they did not have hard drives. They didn't have auto tune, and they played really really well, and I was very surprised and happy to hear that they were playing as well as they did, which that of course I've seen other bands that really don't play very well, but it sounds great because it's all on, again, all on computers and hard drives and God knows what else in there. Their stage shows flames and sparks and dancers and God knows what else, and it's fun to look at. But musically, it's I don't know what the word is. Musically, it's like watching a fireworks show on November the 5th in England.
You mentioned that, and I think of the opportunity, like Yes had some iconic songs and that haunt you for 30, 40 years. I don't see anybody out there who's creating something that's going to haunt me 40 years from now.
That's I agree with you. In fact, I think that's very sad that the artists of yesteryear. I mean, we're talking about, if you talk about Yes or Gentle Giant. In fact, I'm talking about this. It's popular, if not more popular than it was back in the day, and that shows that the music that we played has some value and has a legacy to it that doesn't age, if you like. And I think that a lot of the bands or music these days is pretty much programmed actually into computer logs and analytics, and that's sad. And I don't want to predict, but I would think that quite a lot of it will not be remembered in 5 to 10 years, or even less. I mean, maybe I think there's probably a handful of artists, perhaps in 20 to 30 years, will be remembered during this last 20 plus years of technology getting in the way of musicianship, if you like.
Technology is painful. I mean, I was watching some software, some AI software, and I put in a couple prompts and it spit out a full song. I mean, complete. I was thinking to myself, would I be able to tell the difference? You know, I mean, do you think you could tell the difference between something created on AI and somebody created? Would it be the flaws that you notice, or would it be this is too perfect?
Yeah, I would notice a difference. Of course, there's a difference. There is nothing. AI technology can never replace something which is human, and you open a page and it's blank, and you start writing from there, and from there. Your heart, your gut, and your head. And AI does not have that. It has the information from your gut, your heart, and your head, but it doesn't have the synapses that you have personally. So absolutely, it's always different. Of course it is.
Now, I can't imagine you trying to do your job now in comparison to, when you discovered Bon Jovi. You're just going, what am I shooting for? Am I shooting for talent? Am I shooting for a look? I mean, am I hoping that he's that good looking that, he'll be able to tour with Taylor Swift? I mean, stuff like that. I can't even imagine what it would be like doing your job right now.
With John, that was a whole different animal, because I met John as he was putting a band together, and he had a vision of himself that was unstoppable. He sat down with me the band was getting together, and I said, John, what is it you want to be, and who is it you want to be? And he was 18 years old, and I was just a little older, and he looked me in the eye. And he said, I want to be as big, if not bigger, than Elvis. And you wonder, if is he punking me, but I could tell with his eyes and with his heart and with he was that driven to learn and be, certainly, well, I don't know, as big as Elvis, but certainly as well known as he became. And in fact, I saw that in him, and effectively helped him on his way on the third album. Of course, I got him together with Desmond Child, and got him to Vancouver, and we made Slippery When Wet, and Bon Jovi, the band, became the biggest band that year, 1986. So, but he had that vision and drive and the ability to learn how to make himself an entertainer and a star. He was a star. He had that, and again, and he authentically knew that was what he wanted to be.
One of the hardest questions I ask now for people is I go to a lot of shows now. I still go. I'm still, the hard thing for me is to see an artist who shouldn't be on stage anymore. They bring him in a wheelchair, or something like that, and it's just painful. And they have some backup singers who are doing his parts. I mean, are you happy to see that, or are you like going, he should definitely not do this?
Truthfully, I'm in your court. To be honest
Yeah.
with you, I just don't feel like. Look, I can't speak for the artist. Look, whatever they want to do and whatever their fans want to see is okay for me, or okay for them. But for me, I just can't. I don't feel right in seeing a band that I have incredible memories from back in the day, trying to recreate it in a different era when you really can't do it, and you can't reach those notes. You can't play those licks on your guitar, and you're allowing other people to do it just because I don't know what it is. If it's money, I understand that. But if it's just the ego of being on stage and having an audience clap, that's, I think that's sad, to be perfectly honest.
That's a tough thing. I think about a couple different things when you try to process all of this. And one of the things that's tough for me is when an artist dies early, when somebody is ridiculously talented and he leaves this planet, and you've had so many different talented people under you. What was one of your biggest shock when a certain artist died? What was the one where you're going, oh man, we have lost so much?
Um, oh boy, there's several. Well, Jimi Hendrix, because we actually, in my first group, we toured Germany with Jimi Hendrix, and in my first group, Simon Dupree and the Big Sound, and we had a pretty big hit, and we were really good. I'm being very honest here. We were great live, and not too many people, too many other bands could top us. But we did this tour of Germany, and when Jimi Hendrix Experience went on, we said, okay, they win. They hit. He was that good. He was that good. I mean, it was just, he was brilliant, and also a great, great guy, and such a pleasant, unbelievable man. And we thought, this is just an incredible talent that is unbeatable. And when he passed away, it was so sad that he would no longer be seen, because he was very young, another 27-year-old that didn't see his career blossom into bigger things. But yeah, Hendrix was probably one, the main one.
We've got a minute left, so why don't we just tell people how they can get your book? Because I think if you're an artist or you want to achieve anything, I think this book will help you get there.
Well, you go to Amazon.com, and the book is called Giant Steps. You could get it on Kindle now, but it's out in a couple of weeks on Amazon. And I hope everyone enjoys it, because it was quite hard to make, and it was very personal, by the way. It's not just about my life in music. It's about my life, and it's about family, and it's about also staying away from things that will make you less good in music. I'm talking about chemicals and alcohol that people rely on. They think that they are helping, but I never did any of that stuff, and I'm very happy that I'm an old man that could talk about that, if you like, and saying thank goodness I didn't.
Well, it was great talking to you, Derek, and I look forward to talking to you again. Be well, my friend.
Thanks very much, man.
Well, that wraps up today's show. I'm attorney Jeff Kaufman. Thanks for joining us. Special thanks to my two co-hosts, my good friend, professional comedian James John, and my law partner, Craig Lind. This show is sponsored by Kaufman Lind. If you or someone you know has been in an accident, contact us at 407-500-JEFF or 407-500-5333 for a free consultation, or visit us at whenyouneedus.com.